editor here for DNNhere.com. Okay, you know what? My accent is already bad enough with this, dental prosthetic. I mean, it will be even worse. Okay, so let's put it aside. Guys, welcome, Ralph, Joe, Scott. How are you guys?
Oh, well, thank you.
Hey,
Oh, good.
Okay, so I decided to come with a mix of different characters, just as a reference to the Frankenstein type of websites that we come across all the time. You see one page is using one module that doesn't look quite well within that site, and then the other page looks a little bit different, and the other page looks a little bit different. So that's me. I have one character here, and another one right here. So first thing I want to ask is, whose hat is this?
I have to go with Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones, okay, that's good. I mean, I would say that if I didn't have the tag to prove, I mean, I would say it's Indiana Jones, but no, try another one. Horror movie.
Tony,
Oh,
was
is
it?
it
Freddy.
Freddy? Oh, yeah, Freddy Krueger.
That's it.
There we go.
Freddy
Huh.
Krueger. Okay, hey,
Ah.
that's the guy. Okay, so Freddy Krueger here, and then Phantom of the Opera here, and then a werewolf here. Okay, so that's the Frankenstein types of websites that we come across, not only with DNN, but all kinds of Frankenstein websites that we come across all the time. So, Ralph, I mean, I'm just gonna go top to bottom. Ralph, who are you there?
I'm an engineer. It's an authentic engineer's cap. It's been worn while actually driving trains, and so yeah,
Worn by you.
yes, worn by me while driving trains. So yep,
Joe,
my
go ahead,
previous
Joe.
life.
Joe, how about yourself?
This is called Old Men Don't Get Dressed Up for Halloween, and this is my classic Indiana Jones hat, which my daughter bought me years ago. I think in excess of, it's probably going on 25 years.
Wow, my hat has a brother. Then I mean, it looks very much alike, Maybe Fred Krueger is Indiana Jones. I don't know, but let's carry on there. Scott, who are you?
I like the way you put it. I'm a tourist. I guess I'm just a tropical, just a tourist in a tropical area. That's what I want to be right now. But at least I can dress like it while I'm in Chicago.
Great.
Well, we need to give a shout out to Chicago this week, don't we?
I was thinking about doing the super fans thing, but unfortunately I have no Chicago garb. I guess it's going to change soon, but I was going to shave just the mustache and do my Chicago accent. Maybe have a heart attack while I'm talking to you guys.
Don't talk. Okay, there's a no topic is accents. I mean, we don't talk about accents here, okay? Because nobody has an accent here. Nobody.
Well, just for me, anybody who can spit out the phrase dental prosthetic gets credit for me for being conversant with the English language. There you go.
Well, maybe it was my first English class. I think that was my first English class. That's just to get us going here, to get us started. Let's get to the nuts and bolts of our DNN chat, DNN monthly chat. The first thing that I want to bring to light was an interview that I did with Joe Brickman about a month ago, talking about DNN9, what DNN9 is bringing to the table. It was a good 50 minutes conversation just about DNN9 and the excitement and the actually the fact that DNN9 has been so much discussed and again promoted by DNN Corp, and they are really doing quite a lot to shed light on the new release, with videos that I've been doing, with blog posts, and I will go through some of those. So again, this is an intro to DNN9, and then I have done at this point about 7 or 8 video reviews on the different views of DNN9 and the different aspects of the persona bar, and things have been shuffled around as compared to DNN. DNN 8 and DNN 7, things on the administration side of DNN have been placed in different places. So it's a little bit of that as well that I have been doing with those video reviews, just I guess at relocating, hey, this used to be here, this is now there, this is now here, and this is now there. Again, this is just from a UI standpoint, but there is a lot of technicalities and technical stuff behind the scenes. The fact that now it's iframe based, I mean, it doesn't mess around with the page at all. It's iframe based, it's SPI, it's lightweight, all of that jazz. So again, a lot has been discussed, has been talked about DNN9 videos, then a bunch of blog posts as well from Joe Brickman and Ash Persad as well, from a technical architecture here. What is the architecture of the persona bar? Because DNN9 at the end of the day is a lot about the persona bar. It's a lot about the restructuring of the administration of DNN, getting rid of, in a way, of web forms there on that aspect of DNN, and having a very lightweight interface. So persona bar source codes discussed by Joe Brickman, persona bar architecture discussed by Ash Persad, understanding the persona bar by Joe Brickman as well, rethinking the admin's experience by Joe Brickman as well. Again, he's been very prolific on posting about DNN9. Any comments about DNN9 in general? I mean, from anyone?
I have a question. I've downloaded DNN9 and probably played with it for 10 or 15 minutes. Is there anything in DNN9 that is new that is not part of the administrative UI?
That is new as compared to, of course, as compared to DNN 8. It's a new feature. Is that what you're saying?
Is there anything new in the DNN part as opposed to the DNN administrative part?
I don't think there is. Now, I can tell you this. There are some minor differences, not only from the admin UI, but from some certain settings on the admin. I see some new things there on the DNN admin, new options, new settings, but very minor. So from the administration perspective, there's not much new other than the restructuring. But from DNN itself, I mean, outside of the administration, I don't think there is much. Now, I might be wrong, but that's what I know at this point. I don't think that there is anything new outside of the administration of DNN, which, again, it's also a move towards getting rid of Telerik, because there's nothing that on the new persona bar that is Telerik related, that use Telerik. It's all gone from that area, So I guess that to your point, I don't think there is anything new outside of that, but I might be wrong. But yeah, that's what I know.
That was my impression. I think by all accounts and my initial experience, it looks like a terrifically wonderful change to the DNN administration process.
I know in the Engage product, or the Evo Content Engage products, what they're planning on doing is bringing back the dynamic content item, or the dynamic content creator and the content items, as well as form builder type functionality. I'm not sure how much of that's going to translate to getting pushed down into the platform product, but that's something they're really pushing for it. And with the Engage product, they're looking at doing, once they have the dynamic content items in place, having a cloud service where you could pull in your content. And I think they're probably going to leverage their Azure environment, like how the Azure environment they're using for their on-demand. So that's kind of interesting, and I think that's where a lot of stuff is going, where even your content can be hosted outside of your website and pulled and cached in.
Got it. Okay. So moving along here, still under the DNNI topic, you can go to this URL, and again, all the URLs will be posted in the video notes. So you can go to this URL at any point in time, and you will be able to download the latest builds. It goes up every night. So every day that you go there, you're gonna see a new build. So you can just download the install package and give it a try, you know. Let's talk a little bit about DNN Summit. I just want to mention that I interviewed yesterday Don Bishop and Ryan Moore. We discussed about the Business Roundtable. What is the Business Roundtable all about? It's a half-day event, costs $50. Who is the target audience of that event? Who should be there? Who should not be there? The topics that will be discussed there, the topics that will not be discussed there as well. So you should definitely check it out. It's not live yet, but it should be live beginning of November. So next week it should be up and running. So again, great conversation with Don Bishop, who is the one organizing, and Ryan Moore is also helping on that. That's the Business Roundtable, which I have open in front of me, and there is already over 20 people have already signed up for that session. Again, a very good alternative if you are not a technical, gal. I mean, if you are not technically oriented, that's the session for you. If you're more interested in the business aspects of DNN, that's a great session to attend to.
I think Don plans to be reaching out to people who registered for the event and get some before the event feedback and incorporate that into planning. And one of my jobs with the event is keeping track of all the people who register. And it's a really interesting mix of people who have already registered for that event. That it includes developers, it includes people whose business is servicing the DNN community, and includes people who use DNN in their business. So it will be a really interesting one.
Very good, very good. And one thing that I have not mentioned to Ryan, nor to anybody else actually, but I intend to get a list of all the presenters of the event, and I would like to be interviewing them, to be talking to them, to understand what is it that people should expect out of their session, and talk to them, and again get people excited about each one of the sessions, So again, I will reach out to the committee and I'll get that going. But my intention is that it's to interview each one of the presenters, so we can get a good overview of who will be there presenting what and why people should attend that particular session.
I think they're in excess of 30 individual presenters, so you've just signed up for another monumental bit of work.
But here's what I intend to do. I intend to combine the interviews. I intend to have, instead of interviewing one-on-one, I'll get 2 or 3 people at the same time on the same interview, and then again we will all talk about your session. So instead of doing really one-on-one with each individual, I'll do a bundle of 2 or 3 people at the same time. Okay, anything, Joe? I mean, aside from the trivial when and where, anything new that you want to add about the DNN Summit? Anything?
Since we had our last chat here, the website is getting more meat on its bones. All of the sessions and the presenters and the actual arrangement of the sessions into tracks is now available on the website. So you can go there and start making a long list of all of the things that you're not going to be able to see because you're going to go to something else at the same time. When I looked at it, I was trying to figure out how to build the time machine so I'd be able to go back and see some of the other sessions. There is, at least as far as I'm concerned, there's not a clunker on the program. So it's really good presentations. We've got bunch of new people who have not presented at one of the DNN events before on the program.
Perfect.
And of course, now attention turns to the winter sports section of the program. So people who want to ski or snowboard or snowmobile or go snow tubing or just want to sit around and sample beverages, be welcome to attend on Saturday and Sunday. It should be a nice social way to wind down the event. And there are a bunch of people already signed up for that.
Perfect.
As well.
And I'm just scrolling down the list of speakers, and again, I cannot get to the end of it.
Yeah, and I think this time we have 6 tracks. We had 5 in Baltimore, so you know, at every time slot, that's one more thing that you won't be able to see.
Got it. Very good. Very good.
But the good news is you've got 2 months to really sort through that list and figure out what it is that you want to see and go for it.
Perfect. Okay. So that's it about DNN Summit. Let's move along, and I just want to mention that I'm not sure if it was this month that was announced, but DNN Connect was also announced. It will be taking place on from the 25th to the 28th of May in Girona, Spain. And I have the page open here. All the details are there. So again, great as well to see the next DNN event, but getting put in place. So again, check it out, and another great opportunity to meet now the European community as well.
That's a very interesting one, and by all accounts, they had such a good time in Girona last May that they decided they all wanted to go back. It's kind of a self-contained rural setting, and
is that the exact same space that they?
The exact same space, yeah. And I think something I read said we decided why waste time searching all over Europe for another place to do this when we know a great place. So
they're right.
And if our friend David Poindexter goes this time, he'll remember to bring his passport.
Well, I think that the right one is already. I mean, he already replaced the passport. I'm quite sure. Okay, so that was DNN Connect, and again, once we get closer to that, I hope that I'll be talking to the organizers of DNN Connect as well. So moving along.
Yeah, and the at least one of the organizers, Peter Donker, is coming to DNN Summit. Will be making a presentation.
Correct. Correct.
So
I saw his name.
You'll be able to get a sales pitch from him if you attend DNN Summit.
Very good. Very good. Perfect. Okay, so moving along, we have the Southern Fried DNN. Man, I'm getting good at that. Southern. Whoa. Okay, so it was a few days ago, and I just went through the slides. Basically, Will Stroll went through how he goes about evaluating modules, keeping a DNN website clean, how to evaluate themes. Again, it was a very, very comprehensive session that he put together here. I really want to go through the actual recording. I just went through the slide share, but again, a lot of juicy content on how to pick the right vendor, the right module, the right theme, what to look for, what to be aware of, any buyers be aware type of learnings from his over 13 years of experience in the DNN space. So great session from Will Stroll on a comprehensive guide to keeping your site clean, your DNN site clean. So that was it. I want to mention about a new offering that I saw from DNN Sharp. And actually, I had the opportunity this week to meet Bogdan Litescu, and he explained to me more about the DNN Sharp, what they call the Sharp CDN, which is a content delivery network and offering from DNN Sharp. You install this module, and this module will basically, I'm just gonna try to summarize here. It will get all your static files like JavaScript, CSS, images, and it will place that in a CDN, a content delivery network, which is a place that your files can be delivered faster without bringing a burden to your website. So it's a module, but it's a type of a subscription, because here's the fact. The fact is that they are leveraging Amazon CloudFront to be their CDN. So they need to pay Amazon, and because of that, there's a recurring cost for them, and then there's a recurring cost for whoever wants to use that, but very, very affordable. I had the page here that had their rates. They even have a free plan. Yeah, I have it here. They even have a free plan, which let me see. Yeah, a free plan that allows you to try the service and see if it's for you. But there is also a starting plan for $9.90 a month. There's a premium, and then there's a custom here. So again, check it out. If by any chance you feel that you did everything you could with your DNN website, and you don't feel that it performs up to par to where you want it to perform, how you want it to perform, you may want to give it a try.
I think it's haunted.
Okay, so I'm doing the module reviews, the new modules and new themes review by myself because of a technical glitch. So I just want to mention the 8 most recent new release of modules and themes. Now, that does mean that they are brand new modules and skins. They may be just a new release of the same module and the same skin. So we have a jQuery slider from CoolDNN. I have not heard about CoolDNN before, but hey, there's a new slider that they they have done a release. So new slider from the same CoolDNN people, portfolio grid. From DNN Go, there's the Go X blog version 7.9. So I've not used this blog too much in the past, but you know what? After almost 8 releases, major releases, it should be a very solid blog. Easy DNN maps. I had a look at them. I had a look at this module. Seems quite good. I mean, I saw the demo. You should definitely check it out. And then a bunch of easy DNN releases here: Rotator, Gallery, News, and the 2sex content module from the team in Switzerland. Those are the new modules, the new themes, new releases. We have Vaspen from Speedy Applications, Lancer, Just DNN, Anti-DNN. Have never heard about those guys. Simply Responsive, DNN Vista, Legacy, and a few more here. Just DNN as well. Again, Speedy Application, Miro Responsive, and a collection from Easy DNN Solutions. They have a collection of a few modules, I think. Let me have a look here. Yeah, it's 6 professional themes and powerful modules as well. Okay, and to finalize, we have Just DNN with a skin set with 12 color options, holiday themed. Well, I guess that's right on time. Great, okay, perfect, that's the other option. Now, I want to have a quick look at the latest releases from the Forge. We have a bunch of things here from Brian Dukes. Brian, I hope that you have some time to work for profit as well. Again, I see you all the time here. So a few libraries, libraries here from Brian Dukes. Yep, the release of 2sex content again from Daniel Mettler, Brian Dukes again and again, and a lot of JavaScript libraries from him. And then we have a module from Thorsten, BB News and BB Contact. BB News is it's a news posting module. BB Contact is a type of form module that you can put in a contact us page. There is also a library here called the BB Image Handler, providing chart bars, barcodes, percentage bars. Quite interesting if you need to put together some charting capabilities on your modules. See page 2, a lot from Brad Dukes. Open Content from Sasha. So Open Content has a new release. It's a module for content management on DNN, and we have again a lot of stuff from Brian Dukes in the last 3 weeks. Perfect. And this module as well from Will Stroh. I think that this module is being used on the DNN Summit website with potentially minor modifications. But yeah, I think that's the same module is also used there. That's it. That's about paid modules and open source modules from the Forge. Just want to give a big shout out to the people at Glanton, specifically John Royal and Ian Sampson. They came to rescue when I was having a problem. We were having a problem with a client with Active Directory integration. Whenever I hear Active Directory integration, I cringe. I'm usually scared about that. I don't know much. I don't understand much about that. But it's great to have people like the folks at Glanton that know what they're doing. They have a good set of modules and they are there when you need. I needed a scream out loud and they came to the rescue. The good thing is that after a good night of sleep of that system, of that site, the next day everything was okay. They didn't need to do anything. But yeah, it was great to see that people are there. No, that's what great vendors are all about. They are there when you need them. Okay, perfect. To finalize here, my spiel for this odd episode, this odd chat with a lot of technical issues, I want to give a tip for parents. This is not about DNN. This is just a tip for parent coders out there. If you want to expose your kids to coding, you should think about Scratch. Scratch is a platform. I have not done much with that platform, but this weekend, the weekend of, let me see here, yeah, October, the last week of October, on Sunday, October 30th, I'll be going with my daughter for a 3 hours event, and it's an organization that teaches coding for kids. And they're teaching on top of Scratch. They're using Scratch as a platform of choice to introduce kids in a very fun way to coding. So again, if you have kids, if you're a coder, if you want to expose them, I think about exposing my kids, not because I want them to pursue that career, not necessarily, but just because I want to expose them to sports, to dance, to music, to all kinds of activities that open up their brains, that open up their options in life. So I think that exposing kids to coding, I think it's positive. It tells them a lot about recognized pattern recognition, how important that is. So again, that's my tip of the month. That's my spiel.
Got ghosts on your end.
If you were to start a theme today, which UI framework would you use and why?
So yeah, if I was to start if I was to begin a theme today, I think I'd still probably use Bootstrap 3, which is what I've been using for quite a while. Just because it's got everything kind of built into it, but it really depends on obviously what the theme requires. But it's just got so much already built into it. So I'd probably just continue using that. Although I'm looking forward to Bootstrap 4 coming out and being able to see what we can do with that. So
got it. Can
I ask a question?
Sure, go ahead.
And if you were starting a new theme, Ralph, would you actually be starting a new theme, or would you take something you've already done and rework it?
No, I would start a new theme. Now, what I usually do whenever I do a theme, I will open up like the gravity skin, and I'll just grab all of the stuff, all of the, includes from there, the register tags and maybe some of the skin objects and things like that. I'll just kind of, grab them from there as I need them. I don't necessarily hand code all of that stuff, but that's kind of, but I usually do start from scratch. Although I have a template that I'm working on, and I plan on presenting it at DNN Summit. Based on the current one that I have is based on less CSS, but I think I'm going to switch it over to SAS CSS since that's kind of where things seem to be going toward, especially with Bootstrap 4 picking up on SAS. But basically, it's just a very basic two-page template that has the framework kind of already built, and that's a really good starting point. And so I did that before with a team of front-end developers, and we would, everybody would just, when they start a new one, they'd start on that, and that way you got a lot of consistent things taken care of. It handled a lot of the styling for the admin, for all the admin screens and things like that, to be able to make sure that it was all styled, and being able to use preprocessor like SAS or less, you're able to use the variables and update the colors very, very easily to fit with your new theme. So, that's something that I look at trying to kind of get up and running again, and then I'll open source that on my GitHub.
So is the idea that when you're developing the CSS that you're really developing it at the less or SAS level, and then compiling it in for the skin?
Yep, and then it would just compile. It would compile to the skin.css. All of your SAS files would just compile right to the skin.css, and it would just go work with DNN from there.
You said Bootstrap because of your background with Bootstrap, but let's say, just for the sake of conversation, let's say that you are starting today with DNN, you don't have too much of a past with Bootstrap nor anything else. Based on what you know now on the different frameworks, I'm talking about Foundation, I'm talking about Material Design, would Bootstrap still be your choice of UI framework if you were starting from the ground up right now, without considering your past with Bootstrap?
That's tough. That's a tough question because a lot of the decisions that I've made in the past has got me to where I am now. I mean, I don't know, to be honest. It's the past little while, I've been doing a lot of more JavaScript oriented type of work, and but I would probably start to reevaluate things a little more, looking at some of those. And I also like to just try some things new just to see how they work. I might try a skin with, something like you said, like with Foundation, just to see, is this the direction that I'd like to start going from the future, or do I want to continue on with just using Bootstrap? But I think Bootstrap offers a lot. It's a very robust framework. So, but I mean, I still, at the core of everything, I really prefer to hand code everything myself when it comes to CSS and HTML. But now that we have responsive that we have to deal with, being able to use one of those frameworks really just saves time. But you're still having to work around whatever framework you're using, especially if you have a custom design or something like that. Then you have to try to figure out how to make them work together. And I know I've had to teach several designers how to design for Bootstrap or, whatever grid system that we're using. I've had to try to teach the designers to do that. So whenever you can just code, by hand, obviously you can, create those custom themes a whole lot better. But, then you come down to time and efficiency. And so it just seems to be better to go with one of those. His hand looks like an alligator.
if you were starting today a module, like a simple module, I'm not talking about anything fancy, anything that is very, that has a big challenge for you to solve. No, it's a basic data entry with some basic listings and some basic a basic search functionality for the data that you have input. What elements, what technologies, what architecture, and again, you don't need to go too deep, but what would you use today if you were starting a new module right now? Is that Angular? Is that MVC? Entity? What is it? What would be your choices,
I think it'd be a toss-up between. What's interesting is I'm doing some documentation for DNN Corp on the MVC module development for their official documentation, but it's kind of a toss-up because I'm going to use a JavaScript framework probably for something like that. And I don't know. I guess I would probably do it right now in Angular and either MVC or Spock, because at that point most of the business logic's running on in services and on the front end. So that's probably now. In DNN 9, I'm really looking hard at React because that's what they're basing a lot of their new UI stuff on. It's going to be a first-level library that's, I'm sure, registered just like jQuery and Knockout are. So I might consider React in the future because it is able to do component-based type things, and it's already registered in there, so you don't have to add any additional, script registration.
Got it. Okay. Now, I'm going to ask a similar question, but this time around, because your answer is also based on the fact that you have experience with those things, with those technologies, those approaches. You have already experienced there. But let's say that you were, just try to picture you were starting today with DNN, and you know all the, by hearing, maybe not first-hand use, but if you were, resetting your knowledge base, which is very hypothetical, but again, let's play the game here. Resetting your knowledge base there and don't have the bias towards what you answered there. Would your choices still be the same? I mean, would you still pick the same options?
Well, I think really, if you were starting with DNN and you were completely technology agnostic, what would you probably pick? You'd probably pick what the DNN framework is using. So currently in DNN 8, if you were to look at the JavaScript registrations, you would be picking Knockout, likely. And then DNN 9, you'd probably be picking React. So I think, I don't have much of any experience right now with React. So I think if I was like brand new to DNN and didn't care at all about technology, but I knew that this client-centric module, development is what everyone is doing. That's the future, right? Services and client-side scripting. I would think I would just go with whatever is common within that CMS framework.
Got it. Perfect. Okay. So, as I said, I'm gonna put this all together, see if I can do a collage of those recordings. At this point, I just want to wish you guys a happy Halloween and happy elections, because I know November 8th is coming up and you guys have a big decision there. So I don't want to be on your shoes, when you do that, make that decision there. But again, I just hope that you guys have a great November, a great Halloween, great elections, and see you.
Yeah, we'll be seeing you in Canada.
You know what? I have my arms open here for you guys, depending on where this election will take you guys, okay?
Yeah.
I will be voting this evening.
There you go.
Very good, very good. So again, thank you very much, Scott. Ralph, anything else, anything to finalize? I mean, Scott, anything there?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to officially name this the Haunted episode. This is the Haunted episode. Have a safe Halloween, a great Halloween. I'll talk to you guys in a month. Thank you very much. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. I think it's haunted.